Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday to all. Hope you're having a good week. I would say that I am. Last night was cool. Hit Tulsa. My Eagles team total over lost by the hook, and the kicker missed 2 field goals and a PAT. So got robbed there. But we all live bet the Eagles at plus 145 when they were down. So made some money on that as well. Shout out to those of you who tailed that, because I didn't personally bet it. That Jazz SGP that I shared yesterday was Mavs first half money line, Jazz full game money line plus 811. That shit hit. I didn't bet it myself, so I can't even flex on it. But that was sweet that it played out like that. I mean, the Jazz at home have been a good second half team. There's been several times where they've been down and they've clawed their way back into the game. They haven't always won, but there's been several times where they were getting blown out and then it finishes as a 7-point game. So that was my reasoning for doing that. Wish I bet it personally. Here's Chris here. Not much, man. Just getting ready for the weekend. College football on tomorrow and all that. I think Skee is still live on his channel, so we could just get started. This NBA, there's a lot of games. I have one bet open, and the line's gone.
I'm glad it's not just you, guys.
Dude,
I'm so glad it's not just you. And I'm interested to hear what Skee got to say. I see you just popped in.
Oh, did he? Okay.
But yeah, I'm like, it's 50,000 games on, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm a little gun shy today. Not a lot that like really jumped out to me, I guess.
Well, I feel like it's tough to catch out on patterns. I'm having trouble, and it's not, I wouldn't say having trouble in terms of losing bets, because I'm not significantly down or anything, but I'm having trouble. Wait, hold on. Well, let me get Skee's green screen on here. Oh, there we go. One sec. There we go. All right. So I'm having trouble when I'm going through the slate. It just feels a lot like guessing. And I hate when it feels like guessing, but that's how it feels to me so far, at least. But yeah, I have one bet open and the line's gone. So we'll see if we can find some other ones. This first game is Miami on the road at Indiana. I almost took the under last night at 227.5. I didn't. For me, it would only be Pacers or under. I mean, the Heat don't look very good. I like playing the Heat as dogs, but based on where they're playing right now, I'm not in a hurry to do it. So I'm just going to put under 228 up for me. I'm not betting this. And the Pacers pace. The Pacers pace has been so inconsistent. There's been times where they look like the Pacers of last year that sprint up and down the floor. And then there's been times where the Pacers are playing slow half-court games. So I don't want to say, hey, guys, let's take the under, and then we see an old-school Pacers game from last year, because we've seen them do it several times where they come out and they look like last year's Pacers. So I'm not betting this crap. Under 228 or pass for me. Either you guys have anything here?
Go ahead, Skee.
I agree with you. It feels kind of like, we were only, 2.5 weeks into the season. We'll start to have, stronger opinions as it gets a little bit more. But I think the Pacers haven't been able to push those teams who want to play slow defensive games like the Magic. And that's the same kind of team that Miami is. So I can understand liking the under. I did hear Hero recently. I think it was Hero. He was saying, like, we can't get into these kind of games that are super high scoring like the one versus Denver, because we're not that kind of team. We're not going to win those games. So I think it will be a lower scoring game. I'll lean with you with the under.
Yeah, well, if I see a Miami Heat game with a 228 under, I'm immediately going to lean towards the under, because the Heat usually don't play those types of high-scoring games. But it is a Pacers home game. In the past, those tend to be high-scoring, so I get it. Chris?
And it's an in-season cup game, Kyle. And they take this they take these serious. Like, not that Miami won't want to bounce back. The last time we saw the Miami Heat, they lost in Detroit because Eric Spoelstra called a timeout when he didn't have any. So I'm pretty sure there's pretty bad taste in their mouth. But at the same time, Miami's without Jimmy Butler, and I'm like, I don't really want to trust them. The Pacers have been like very inconsistent. You talked about the pace, Kyle, but just in general, like They've won, lost their last 4 games. The wins have come at home, but they're without Nembhard and without Neesmith. So this isn't a spot that I really want to trust a lot of trends in, just because I feel like it's more of an eye test. This total was at 231, I think is what it was 2 days ago. And I didn't play it then, but it'd be under for me or nothing. Just a couple of trends that I'll read off just for the viewers so they can have them. I did look into this yesterday. The Pacers off a road loss going back to last season, 16, 13, and 1 against the number. Off a road loss and they're at home, 9, 5, and 1 against the number. Off a road loss as a home favorite, 5 and 3. And then off a loss with rest at home, 10 and 3 against the number. So I guess it'd be Pacers or nothing and Heat or nothing, but I'm sorry, Pacers or nothing and under or nothing, but I like the under a little bit more than anything else.
That's exactly, I said Pacers or pass, under or pass, same boat, but I'm not betting this one. The poll is leaning towards the Pacers, 51%, 36%. Let's move on to the next game, and actually, I kind of had a change of heart with this one. Someone asked me in the Discord last night, they were like, Pistons, like asking if I would take the Pistons here, and I was like, yeah, it would only be Pistons, but I was actually looking at it. I think the Raptors are going to win this game. I mean, I don't have it in me to actually place this bet, but you got the Raptors coming back home off a road trip, and I know that's not typically a spot you like to back a team, but they had 2 full days rest. The Raptors were playing competitive basketball pretty recently. It's just 3 games where they fell off. There's not a ton of winnable games on the Raptors schedule, but coming off 2 days rest at home, Pistons have been rebounding the ball well. On the road in Toronto, this might be a spot where they can't win the rebounding battle, and they've been relying on that. I actually think the Raptors are going to win this game. I didn't bet it just because, I mean, I'm not placing a bet on the Raptors unless I'm getting 6.5 points. Like, I'm not betting on the Raptors to win a game, but I actually do think the Raptors are going to win this game. Chris, Skee? Oh, Skee, you're muted.
They are healthy, but for me,
My bad. My computer's like twitching out. But this is the one game I don't want to talk about. So that's why I was kind of quiet. Like, out of all the games, I have zero opinion on this one. Toronto, they've been so inconsistent, guys in and out the lineup. They were playing fast at first. Then they were playing slower. They still haven't been playing any defense. So it's just, I don't know what to do with them. And the Pistons, I don't really want them when I have to bet them to win. That's just how I feel. So it's a game where I'm not putting any of my money.
Yeah, and then what you just said about the Raptors, that's how I feel about a lot of the teams where we're seeing the data points are all over the place, where we're seeing elite defense for 3 games, then extremely fast pace for 3 games, and then 3-point shooting for 3 games. It's like, I don't even know who any of these teams' identities are right now. Chris?
Toronto or Toronto team total over for me. I didn't bet either one either. But I'll say this: Detroit, they may have Ivy back. 3rd game in 4 nights for them. You mentioned Toronto having not just the rest advantage. Detroit's coming off back-to-back overtime games, and I think you kind of shoot yourself in the foot when you do that. If anybody had a chance to watch them play against the Miami Heat the other day, they were winning that game comfortably. I think they were up 6-7 points in the 4th quarter, and Tyler Hero just started hitting threes. 3 after 3 after 3 after 3, push that game to overtime. Then on the second leg of a back-to-back, they have to go to Milwaukee because the rookie, I can't remember his name, because he misses the free throws, they lose that game. They have to go to another overtime, and they lose that game. So one thing I did look up was teams coming off back-to-back overtime games, 29 and 50 straight up, 36, 41, and 2 against the number if they're on the road in the next game. And I think because I can't play Toronto, like I'm with y'all, I'm not taking them to win a game. I think I would look towards their team total to go over, thinking that they do play with pace and they do get back home. It would make sense for Detroit to kind of run out of gas on the back-to-back overtime games. I think it's also a 5th and 8 nights for Detroit as well. So that's the way I would play it. I would look at Toronto team total up and over. I think the number is 110.5.
110.5. All right. Toronto team total over 110.5. All right, let's move on to the next one. 60% of the poll is on the Pistons there. So as far as the viewers, they like Detroit. Next up, this one at least gave me a little bit of confidence because I almost took the Magic at a pick last night. So at least last year when I was killing the NBA, I had a really good couple months stretch there in late January into March, and I was getting consistent CLV every single night. When I wake up the next morning, I was on the right side of the movement, which is obviously where you want to be long term. So it's good to see that I at least was seeing the market correctly here. Didn't actually place the bet, but the way I feel about Philadelphia is, I mean, I thought that home game against the Knicks, even though Maxey was out, getting Embiid back in front of the home fans against the rival team that eliminated them from the playoffs last year, a Knicks team they love to beat. I thought that was just a beautiful spot for Philadelphia, and they still just got beat up on their own home floor. So Philadelphia, I don't care that Embiid's back and Paul George is back on the floor. They're gonna have to show me before I bet based on the production we've seen on the floor so far this year. Orlando should be laying 7.5 here. The reason this line is so short is because Embiid's out there, and it's the potential of what we feel the 76ers may be down the stretch for the rest of the season, and I understand it. But based on what we've seen so far, especially with no Maxey, it's only Magic here at home where they play much better. So I almost took the Magic at a pick last night. It would still be Magic at -2.5. This isn't one I actually bet, because eventually those Sixers are going to show up, which is supposed to be a top 4 or 5 team in the East. We haven't seen it yet, though.
Yeah, and, if you look at just the record, those are the kind of teams that the Magic have been able to take care of lately while they figured it out without Paolo. But will we get a better-looking Sixers team here is the question. I couldn't put my money on that. I wanted to get to the under in this game, but we've lost so much value from the opening number. Like, if you're taking the under here, that's just bad betting practice, in my opinion.
This is by the way, this is the bet I have open. I have under 213.5. So I didn't even say it because it's long gone. It's
still better than the number we're looking at.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like you're saying, it's better than the number we're looking at right now. But
I'll put it on the screen because this is the bet I have open. By the way, in case anyone was wondering, I wasn't even gonna say it because it's 5 points ago. So this is the actual bet I have open under 213.5.
I can't take the ass into the line, but yeah, I think it's an under game. So that's as best as I can do for this one.
That's all I got. I hear you, Chris.
Oh man, it's funny hearing Skee say he can't take the ass into the line, Kyle, because when I saw 213.5, that was the ass into the line. This total opened at 223.
Really?
Yeah,
it's
223.5 is what I got written on my sheet.
Who opened it at 223?
I don't know, and I didn't bet it. That's the worst part. Who told me not to bet it?
That man's back on Indeed. Whoever opened that up.
So yeah, I thought that was the worst. I didn't know it was going to continue to drop. And I agree. It's almost what you said is almost like you watched my show this morning, because I said the same exact thing. I do think that Philly is going to get better, right? But is it going to come on the road in Orlando where they've won 4 straight games, they've played 4 straight games, and covered 4 straight games? I'm not so certain. One thing I heard Embiid say after they lost on Tuesday to the Knicks was, he has to get back to being able to kind of trust his body. I'm not wanting to bet on a team that has a star player that doesn't feel like they can kind of trust, their body. And conditioning is still not going to be there. I don't think Paul George or Embiid is going to be able to, be off a minutes limit in this game. So I think Orlando's the right side. Did I bet it? No. I feel like an idiot for not betting the Knicks the other day, because me and you talked that one out, Skee. And I said the Knicks are going to win this game, and I didn't bet it. And I feel like we're losing chances. Every time I don't bet against Philly, I feel like I'm losing a chance. If they were playing Charlotte, if they were playing Miami, I'd probably be betting Philly in this spot on the potential of what they are. I feel like I should be betting Orlando, but I didn't.
Someone in the comments goes, does Atlanta play Washington every night? God damn. It does feel like that.
They play again tomorrow, too.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Nets, Knicks. I know the Nets have been covering. The Knicks are overvalued. I get all that. But you're forgetting one simple fact. We own Brooklyn. We own this team. 6 in a row we've beaten the Nets. So it would only be Knicks for me here because, again, we own this rivalry. But I'm not laying 9.5. Hell no. But only Knicks for me here. I have no opinion.
There's a lot of injury concerns, right? You got the guards, probable, Brunson and Payne. And then you have Karl-Anthony Towns and McBride. Game time decision for this one. I think if Towns missed, it would make a big deal for this game because Brooklyn is shorthanded. There's no Claxton out there. They're going to be really small. So that could help even out things there. And the Nets have been scrappy in general. I mean, they've covered 11 out of 12 first half bets. I think that if I was taking them, that's the route I would go. First half, I think you get plus 5.5 is the best you can get right now. get in and get out. But I would definitely, love it if Karl Anthony Towns was not in the lineup for the Knicks.
Yeah. I have no chance I'm placing a bet on this one. Chris?
Yeah, I didn't bet this one either, but I do like the Brooklyn side. I think it's a tad bit too many points to be laying with the Knicks. The problem for me, and I was watching your show the other day, Kyle, you said that I know you made some money fading the Knicks the other day with the Bulls. That was my best bet of the day as well. I don't necessarily want to keep fading the Knicks, but I do think that they're laying just a tad bit too many points. You also got a Nets team that's coming off a shellacking. Boston bounced back in a really big way in that game. And I do think that Brooklyn is going to continue to be competitive. I think 9.5 is just too many points. This was at 10.5 and it's come down. Skee mentioned the injury concerns. And I don't know. I guess the other thing that kept me off, and one of the reasons why I liked the Knicks so much the other day, was because they were coming off a loss to the Pacers on Sunday, and then they had Philly. And they had been, I think, 3-1 or 4-1 straight up and against the number off a loss. So they bounced back really, really well. And that's one of the things that kind of kept me off. But it's Brooklyn plus 9.5 in this spot. I couldn't talk you off the first half, like Skee said as well. But that's the only way I'm looking in this one. Not laying this big number with the Knicks.
The Knicks should have won that game, though. Let's be honest. I mean, they have to adjust the rule. Kobe White's hair is this big. Josh Hart did not foul him. He brushed his hair.
No. Cal, you can't put it all on one play. You can't go down by 20 to Chicago.
No, I'm putting it all on one play because they called a foul when his arm brushed his hair. His hair's the size of a beach ball. How is that fair?
You can't go down to Chicago by 18, 19 points to even have to claw yourself back into the game, huh? Not against Chicago.
No, it wasn't our best effort. I'm just saying it should have been a win. I mean, the Chicago was my top bet and my top NBA bet that night. So I got the cover, but the Knicks deserved that win. I mean, if that's the case, why wouldn't everyone just grow their hair huge? You get more foul calls. It's a strategy. Crazy. All right. Wizards Hawks, real scorcher of a game here. I'm sure we're all going to be glued to our TVs watching this one. I mean, I spent this much time on this game. I'm not laying 9.5 with the Hawks. Wizards or pass. And me saying that is the amount of time I spent looking at it.
That's fair. I mean, I always say if they can't play defense, you can't lay with them. Neither one of these teams would play defense, so that makes it easy from the side perspective, I guess. But I would lean towards over. I mean, both teams at least play up tempo. We just said they're not playing defense. The offense, it's been up and down for the Hawks, but with Trey in the lineup, I think will be a lot better than what we saw without. So I think over or pass, Wizards or pass, but nothing for my money.
Yeah, same. Chris?
I did get here and bet the over. I took it yesterday, though, at 235. As soon as, I think it was 235.5. As soon as Trae Young got rolled in and wasn't on the injury report, I did get to it. Wizards, I mean, y'all already said the Wizards' offense isn't good, but for whatever reason, they can't score against Atlanta. They have 2 games where they've scored 120 points. The Wizards actually haven't won a game since they played Atlanta. And they got 2 wins on the season. Both of them came against Atlanta. so that in itself, of course, Trae Young being back helps the offense out and hurts the defense. Washington, the worst defensive rated team. Atlanta, 26th rated defensive team. Both team tops 4 in pace. So yeah, I like points in this game. And I also played Trae Young assists. Only player prop that I've played so far. 11.5 this morning was plus 100 on BetMGM, but I'm an idiot. I didn't lock it in immediately, so I laid the 13 cent of juice. Trae has played Atlanta twice this season, 13 assists, 15 assists in both games. In the head-to-head matchup, 19 potential in the first one, 26 potential in the second one. Washington defense hasn't gotten any better. Trae's over in 7 of the 11 games that he's played so far, 64% hit rate, and back-to-back games outside of the Wizards with 13 and 16 assists in his last 2. So I think we see a lot of fireworks in this game. Played Trae Young over his 11.5 assists and the over at 235.5.
Trae Young over 11.5 assists. All right. So on to the next one, which is Lakers Spurs. This was probably the one I was closest to betting. I almost took the Spurs at 3.5 last night. It looks like it's at 3 now. I mean, it's as simple as Lakers are building themselves up some serious home away splits this year. And I mean, on some real shit. I mean, at home, looking like a top 5 team in the NBA, and on the road, looking like they don't belong in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's as simple as now they're back on the road. You can't lay points, period. Because because they've looked so bad on the road. They've lost to the Raptors. So, yeah, I almost bet the Spurs. Really wanted a few more points. And the reason I didn't, something like that, I mean, I seriously doubt it's going to stretch over the course of the season at this extreme level. Like, we know the Lakers aren't going to be a bottom 5 team in the NBA on the road all year.
We don't know that, Cal. I watched the Golden State Warriors be exactly that. Like, just excellent, like you mentioned.
That's true.
Lakers, to your point, Cal, like, and this is one of the reasons it looks super simple yesterday to take the Lakers plus like -2, and I was like, nope, I'm not falling for that trap. And to your point, Cal, on the road they are losing by average of 10 points per game. They're 1-4 straight up and against the number. And at home, they are a perfect 6-0, 5-1 against the number.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're winning by 10 points. So losing by 10 on the road, winning by 10 at home. I'm not playing the Lakers either. It's Spurs. I think first half is a good look. Just because I think that if the game does come down to the wire, I do expect the Lakers to be able to make enough plays to win the game. But I think national television game, I think it's San Antonio in this spot. And I also think San Antonio been at the crib, last of a 5-game homestand. I think you fade them tomorrow against the Dallas Mavericks, especially if this game goes down to the wire. But it's Spurs in this spot or nothing for me. I couldn't get there. Put my money on the Lakers either.
Spurs first half. All right, Skee, you fading your guys here?
I'm not betting on them. Absolutely not. Laying points with the Lakers. This is another team who's playing absolutely no defense. So I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. You know, Wemby has been motivated. I forget exactly who it was, but they were just talking about him and saying, you know, he's lacking offensive talent. They're saying he's so good. He's good on defense, but he's not giving you enough on offense. And ever since then, the past few games, he's just been balling out. So I think he's motivated. I think he'll continue to play like that. And the Spurs, at least the last 5 games, they've been a better defensive team than the Lakers. Something that stands out to me here as I'm looking through some stats, the Spurs as a home dog, their opponents are 4-0 to their team total under. So if I'm looking at, you know, a motivated Wemby, he's going to be the defensive anchor anyway. I think either Lakers team total under, Spurs plus the points, those are the ways that I would pick to play this game.
Lakers team total under at a 227.5 total. That's, you might get a good number on that, like 215.5. I mean 115.5. Am I doing the math correctly?
My computer is going slow today for whatever reason.
I think it should be 115.5. Under. I don't hate that on the road in San Antonio. The one thing you can say about the Spurs is they have been playing some pretty solid defense.
Except when they play against the Washington Wizards and give up 130 last game. I would just take San Antonio team total over. The Lakers don't play defense on the road.
So just take the Spurs then. If we like the Lakers team total under and the Spurs team total over. All right, let's move on to the next game. Wow, our poll's pretty split on that one. 46%, 42%. So split down the middle on that game. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Bulls Cleveland. I think the Bulls are going to cover, but I'm good. I'm not trying to step in front of Cleveland. I believe the Cavs, although they haven't lost a game yet, I believe they failed to cover 3 in a row now, I think.
Yep, you're right. 3 in a row. They started off 10-0, and they're 13-0 now, but they're 0-3 ATS last 3.
And those are nice finds in the NBA, especially when you get a team. You also can find these in the MLB with plus 1.5 dogs. Teams that continue to win or lose but not cover the number. Like, I remember the Oakland A's in 2022. They were a stretch. They were like 47-13 to cashing the plus 1.5, but they kept losing, so they kept giving us good prices on the plus 1.5. It's kind of like this in the NBA when you get a team that keeps winning but not covering. You can keep fading them and cashing, and they will continue to be overpriced because they continue to win games. I'm not saying that's what we have here in Cleveland. It's only been 3. I'm just saying it's nice to find something like that. So, I mean, I would lean Bulls, but like I said, the Bulls are another team where I have no idea who this team is. I have no idea what they stand for. I don't know what this team's identity is. It changes every 6 days or so. Just when I think I have a grip on a handicap for one of these teams, they've played 3 games in a row that show the exact opposite of that pattern. And I'm like, back to square one, still don't know who this team is. And the Bulls are that. I know who Cleveland is, and Cleveland's a team I'm comfortable in a sense where I look at their games, I know what to expect. But we're laying 10. So I don't know if I can count on them to cover double digits here. So, yeah, Bulls are past, but I'm not stepping in front of the Cavs.
I feel the complete opposite as far as I know who the Bulls are. The Bulls, and I know what their identity is. They play fast. They don't play defense. And they're fine with that. They're comfortable with that. They want to try to just run up and down and try to outscore the other team. The Cavaliers, second best offensive team in the last 5 games at least. And I think they're comfortable playing with or without pace. So it could be a game that becomes a track meet. I would lean towards the over, and that's the way that the market has pushed it as well. I was thinking about going back to Vucevic over his 1.5 threes. It's plus 141 last I saw. He hasn't been shooting as well the last 2 games. That's what's kind of holding me up. But he is shooting like slightly under 45% for the season from 3. And Jared Allen does play drop coverage. So whether it's the over or Vucevic threes over, those are my recommendations for this game.
Vucevic threes over. Okay. Actually, I remember you gave out a Vucevic 3-point prop. Are you a Vucevic fan now or something? Where did that
I've
go
always
from?
liked
He
Big Vooch.
likes money. Skee likes money. He knows his drop coverage is coming.
I didn't know Vucevic be doing it like that. Chris?
Cal said, wow, Skee has 2 props today. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
He came on, I think it was 2 weeks ago. He's like, I like Vooch 3-point shots. Like, the fuck did you just say? Did you say Vooch 3-point shots?
Oh man. I agree with you guys on this one. I think both of you guys are more so willing to take the points than to lay the points. And to your point, Cal, like, I'm not saying they're gonna lose, but it does. I mean, they're eventually gonna lose. I think Cleveland is eventually gonna lose. The reason I haven't played the Bulls yet is because they're coming off that upset win. And if they came out super flat in this spot and Cleveland beat them by 20, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But what I will say is this: Cleveland laying these big numbers hasn't been profitable recently at all. Outside of you mentioned them, not covering the 3 games in a row. Now they haven't actually won a game by 10 points outside of the Golden State game since they beat the Magic without Paolo Banchero on the first. So it's been about 8 games since they've actually won by double digits. I'm probably going to get to the window with Chicago. I just haven't done so yet. It's Chicago or nothing for me.
What's the injury situation in this one? Anything significant?
So I did see Evan Mobley who got downgraded to questionable at shoot-around earlier today. And was it anything else, Skee?
Allen is probable.
All right, let's do it, Chris. I'm in.
All right, I'm in.
Chris, like a snake oil salesman, talks me onto a Bulls bet. Again, you did this earlier in the season and we got our asses beat. All right, this one's on you, Chris. I'm going to bet this. I wrote it down. I'm going to bet this.
I already had it written down. It's right here on my short list.
All right, I'm in on the Bulls. Chris sold me. Let's move on to the next game, which is Denver, New Orleans, and Jokic has been ruled out. That's what the line drop was. So I'm very glad I didn't bet Denver -6 last night, which I was considering. So yeah, it's now 2.5, 3. If you're asking my opinion, I'm saying it's not enough. I'm gonna need that to keep going before I don't know. I'm still gonna need 6 to consider betting the Pelicans here. I shouldn't say it's not enough. What I meant was still not betting the Pelicans as a home dog, even without Jokic. This team is bad. I have no interest at all. Nothing to even say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys, but
you're not
Kyle,
doing it.
The last thing Kyle just said, no, I can't touch this game. I mean, it's nothing to like about the Pelicans. Absolutely nothing. Everybody's out. They're not playing good. And then for Denver, what is there to like there? I mean, their advantage, which is their front court, both out. There's 11 games on today, right? Why would I choose this one? Why would I bet anything on this game?
There's also good college football on tonight, Skee. I don't know if you have any action down on that. So yeah,
UCLA.
I'm on the over. I like the over a lot in that game, but I also looked at the UCLA team total over. I lean towards UCLA as well. Chris?
I played under here. Number open, I think 225.5. It was down to 221.5 when Jokic got ruled out. I just think that, like, when I think about, we know how much Jokic means to Denver. This season, they're a plus 29.8. They've actually gotten outscored by 29.8 points per 100 possessions with him off the floor. And with him on the floor, they're plus 13.9. So you mentioned it, Kyle. Like, I need more points if I want to play a side. I'm not playing the side. I just think that when you think about a replacement for Jokic, of course their offense is gonna look really, really bad. They have no post presence at all. But everybody that comes in that plays backup center, whether it's Najee or whether it's DeAndre Jordan, if he happens to see some minutes, are all defensive type guys. The Pelicans offense stinks. I cashed the team total under at 88.5 last game when they played against OKC. And I don't think it's going to get any better just because Jokic is ruled off the floor. So I think a more slower pace style game, a lot of defense, a lot of brick shots. I got under at 219.5.
Under. I mean, I can see that. Not a ton of offense on the floor either. Also, the Pelicans were running a slow pace for a lot of the season as well. So let's move on to the next one. Phoenix, Oklahoma City. I think no one's going to like this. I think Phoenix wins this one outright. I need Nurkic in there, though. I need Nurkic in there. I didn't bet it. We've been waiting for someone to expose this Oklahoma City team for not having a big, and we just haven't seen an opportunity for it. I don't know. I think the Suns are going to get them. I think that the Thunder won a couple games without a true center, so everyone's like, oh, it doesn't matter. You don't need a center. And this line's getting a little out of control here with the 7.5. I know the Suns are injured. What are they missing? Durant, Beal. I think they're missing another piece.
Grayson Allen's game
He's
time
questionable.
decision.
Yeah, Nurkic is questionable. That's why. Well, there's two reasons I didn't bet it. Number one, it's the Suns, and they just love robbing me. Number two, Nurkic is questionable, and I really like the Suns matchup down low if Nurkic plays. So if Nurkic plays, I think the Suns are the move, and I think they're live. But I don't have a bet on it.
Nurkic would be an advantage for sure, but I don't think Nurkic is that good personally. I think that OKC can play well enough team defense to. I mean, the only thing he's going to do is rebound, and rebounding is big. But outside of that, I mean, it's not like you're just giving the ball to Nurkic to just get offense. Like, I just don't see it. So I think OKC's perimeter defense is good enough to be able to focus on Devin Booker. I would only look at the OKC side.
Belt? You putting the belt up?
Nah, I didn't bet it.
I didn't bet this either. Chris.
So Kyle, I disagree with you. I agree a little bit more with Skee here. Like, Nurkic don't move the needle for me at all. We got to remember something about
the disrespect of Nurkic on the show, man.
It's not a Nurkic thing though, Kyle. It
sounds like a Nurkic thing right now.
No, it's
absolutely a Nurkic thing for me.
not for me. I'm with Skee, but it's not a Nurkic thing in this specific situation. Is what I'm trying to say. Oklahoma City, they live for these games without their bigs. Like, this is a very well-oiled machine, whether they have a center or not. Like, they were asked after the game when they do their little group like interview, and they were like, how long? I think it was Dennis Scott, like, asked them after the game on TNT when they beat the Pelicans the other day. It was like, how long can you guys keep it going without a true center? And they were like, as long as we need to. And I believe them. Like, I absolutely believe them. Like, OKC before Chet Holmgren was still a really good team. They just moved their feet and trapped, almost like WNBA, Skee. Like when you get a team that, like Minnesota, that doubles because they don't have a true center. Like, I don't think Nurkic moves the needle for me at all. The bet in the game though is the team total under, in my opinion. I do think that as Skee kind of mentioned, you put Lou Dort on Devin Booker. He's in the torture chamber. And I don't think that Phoenix gets to one. I think their team total is one. What was it? I looked at it earlier. I think it was 110.5. That's the number the Thunder have only given up one time so far at home. We got to remember, this is one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. So it'd be Thunder team total under. They gave up 128 to the Clippers, and they gave up 127 to the Warriors. But outside of that, they're only giving up 104 overall. And the Thunder offense, the Phoenix offense without Bill and without KD, I just don't see them scoring that many points.
The glazing of Oklahoma City's gotten out of control. They're missing all three of their bigs. I'm betting the Suns here. And I'm doing it because of you guys.
Okay.
And the crowd and all the comments and the poll. I'm betting the Suns. I'll be on the Suns Island. You guys will see. And I hope Nurkic goes nuts tonight. I hope Nurkic goes absolutely nuts tonight. and I'm going to text both of you.
You should just bet his PRA over because they might get smoked in this game.
I'm not that crazy. I'll take the points. Nurkic PRA over. I have to sleep tonight. I have to look myself in the mirror. Placing Nurkic PRA over bets. All right, Clippers, Rockets. Clips plus 4.5. I can't believe. Did you guys see how you guys weren't on the show that day. I had Clippers team total over.
I saw it, Kyle. I was thinking about you. I prayed for you too because
that was my only loss that night too. I should have swept.
They couldn't score in the last 5 minutes.
In the
you had 104, right? 104
I had 105.5. I need one more buck.
103.
Yeah, 103. They went 0 for 8 in the final 60 seconds of the game. And the people in the Discord were like, we're fucked. And I was like, guys, we're good.
That's the game where they set the starters, like he benched the starters.
No, that wasn't. Well, I mean, it's tough to tell who the starters are, but this team. But no, they were covering the whole time, and then the Rockets extended the lead in like the final 3 minutes, or really in like the fourth quarter, and the Clippers went 0 for 8 in the final 60 seconds, and it kept being like it was another timeout. Stop what you play. It was like, guys, we're fine. They're gonna get another look. Miss. Guys, we're fine. They're gonna get another look. Miss. I kept missing. So yeah, Clippers are on my shit list right now. I got nothing for this game.
Clippers obviously struggle to score, right? Rockets defense has been pretty good. They've held 10 of their 12 opponents under their team total. So listening to you right there, seeing the Rockets last 5 games being the second best defensive rated team, I'm searching my odds screen for Clippers team total and looking towards under. So that's how I think I would approach this game.
Yeah, my bet on the Clippers team total over that game was they had been red hot from 3. And I was just riding the hot streak. They had shot, I think it was 37% or better from 3 in 5 straight games or something. I was like, yo, if they're going to keep, and they had gone over 105 in 5 of their last 6. So I was like, if they're going to keep hitting their shots, I'll bet it until it misses. Well, it missed.
Yeah, they shot 37% from the 3-point line, Kyle, which isn't bad. Like I don't
still
think about
they still shot 37% of that game.
They shot 36.8%, 14 for 38. So I mean that leads me to kind of what Skee is saying, and that's the way I was thinking about this game as well. I know it's a quick revenge spot. You got Harden still back there as well, but the 3-point shooting, I think that's a little too rich. I don't think they shoot 37% again from the 3-point line. And then when I looked at the rebounding battle, the Rockets absolutely obliterated them. They out-rebounded them 59 to 42. So they were plus 17 on the boards. They got 8 more offensive rebounds, 9 more defensive rebounds. And I think the Rockets are a bet on team at home. I didn't bet it, but it would be same thing Skee said, team total under. I don't trust the Rockets offense. I do think the Clippers coming off a couple of losses back-to-back are going to be motivated. So probably full game under or team total under, but I didn't bet either one. It'd be team total under for the Clippers, though. I'm still not a believer, and I think that we do see some regression here from them shooting the ball so well. Also,
but they've been shooting that well for a minute, though.
No, you're right. You're right, Kyle. But if the Rocket sharks aren't falling, then they can turn into like this stifling defensive team, and that's what Skee was kind of talking about. In their home game so far this season, they only given up an average of 105 points, and that was with the Warriors scoring 127 on them, 3 games into the season at home.
All right, so these guys both leaning towards the Clips team total under. I kind of wanted to bet the Clippers plus the points, but I wasn't going to go back to them after they did that to me. 60 seconds of bricks to lose my bet and rob me of a 3-0 sweep that night. Timberwolves minus 1.5, Kings plus 1.5. I almost bet the side I almost bet last night was Kings plus 2.5. That's where it was when I was looking at it. Looks like it dropped.
You love those Kings.
This year, as far as right now, it's more of a hatred for the Timberwolves. I think this team sucks. Like, this team might suck. We have to, this team might be bad. I don't know if it's losing Cat, even though Cat missed most of last year as well. Maybe Julius Randle is a cancer. Maybe Skee was right with that crazy-ass take. But it's looking like he might be. I don't know why. It would only be Kings here. Timberwolves, I have the Timberwolves under the same file as 76ers in a sense that you're going to have to show me that you should be respected before I put my money on you. That you're going to have to show me. So it would only be Kings here. Didn't bet it because, like I said before, with a lot of these NBA teams, I feel like I don't have a feel for them.
I think I agree with a lot of what you said about Minnesota. I don't think I have to slander Julius Randle anymore. But I wasn't high on this team to begin with. We know that They've looked very, very bad, losing back-to-back games versus Portland. But I don't think the Kings are a team you can expect to win games. Like when they don't have DeRozan, they don't have Malik Monk. They're already a team that's lacking depth. Like they're not the same deep Kings team of the past couple of years. They need those guys in. That's all their points. In Minnesota, they still have some guys over there that can play really good defense. I think the Kings are going to struggle to score tonight. I think Minnesota gets right. I took them on the money line.
Wow. You took Minnesota as a road favorite. Interesting. You like this one?
I like it. I like it too. For a lot of what Skee just said. I also like this is the bottom of the pit here, Cal. Like you lost at home, which is something that you guys.
They're laying points on the road, so they're not at the bottom yet.
But hold on, you're not laying a bunch of points. You're just needing them to win. Skee said he took the money line. Like they don't have to win by 10. And DeRozan's not there, Malik Monk's not there. So y'all failed to mention that before you lost back-to-back games to Portland, which I mean that's like you can't really make it, like you can't verify like that. That's just unvalidatable. But you also lost at home to the Miami Heat as well, and they didn't have Jimmy Butler in that game, I don't think. So this is like the bet on spot. Like I watched the post-game interviews. Rudy Gobert said that a lot of it was on him. He needs to play better defense. I think he absolutely does a really good job on Sabonis today. No Malik Monk. De'Aaron Fox, I don't think is going to play, even though he hasn't been rolled out yet. This is a Minnesota spot. I like Minnesota early, too. I think first quarter might actually be the best play. Coming off 3 losses as a favorite, I think they'll be fired up and motivated for this game. Also, just the last thing, not that it matters, but the last, 7 times that these teams have played, they're one team is 4-3 straight up and against the number. The other team is 3-4 straight up against the number. Every road team has won on the home team's floor.
Okay, I suppose. I don't know.
You putting the belt up?
Yeah, put the belt up. I don't even know who has it right now. I know
the belt just going all around the place.
All right, I'll put the belt up. I'll rock with the Kings. I get it as far as a get right spot for Minnesota. But, that's what everyone was saying in the second game against Portland. If you remember, Chris, I was like, maybe they just suck.
No, I wasn't on the show with you, but you told Ronald. You told
Ronald,
RC
right?
That, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And when I woke up the next morning, they had lost the game outright. I thought about what I was like. Cal said they just really suck. Like we should
maybe they're just not good. And if you want to say the Kings aren't good either, okay. But catching points at home, we really think the Kings are this much worse because of DeRozan, a team that wasn't even there last year.
Why don't we bet under? No offense for
Kings team total.
Kings team total under. I think I agree.
You guys just hate on the Kings, man.
But Minnesota, Skee, the last 2 games, they've struggled to score against Portland. I mean, I know Portland is a lot better defensively than offensively, of course. But I mean, Anthony Edwards shot 0 for 9 from the 3-point line in that last game. Do we expect to see them score a lot more points? The Timberwolves. I do like the team total under for Sacramento though. But do we expect? Can it just be a under? I think they're open at 225.5. It's down 3 points.
I don't really want to talk you off of that. I'm looking at the numbers wise, both teams top 10 defensive teams. Kings not really playing with the pace that we're accustomed to for them. And Timberwolves offense struggling like you're saying. So it could absolutely be an under spot.
I don't know. The Kings still got shooters, man. Keegan Murray, Herter, they can still put up points.
Who comes in off the bench?
Keon Ellis.
They're running 548s. They're running 548s tonight, Skee. 548s tonight. They don't need no bench.
Mike Brown coming off the bench. Road favorites coming off 3 straight losses as favorites are 40 and 17 straight up. 33, 22, and 1. That's 60% ATS, Skee.
Road favorites coming off what?
Road favorites coming off 3 straight losses as a favorite. So they've been favorites 3 straight times, which they lost to the Heat. They lost to the Portland Trailblazers twice in a row. They do win whatever 40 plus 17 is, whatever that is. But ATS, they are 60%.
What do you guys think of this one? Memphis catches 7.5. I mean, the problem is it's not just the injuries to Memphis, but it's also the question marks. I mean, Brandon Clark, Vince Williams Jr., Desmond Bane are all questionable. I kind of want to take the points with Memphis. You guys, dating back to last year, Golden State on the road, yes. Golden State laying points at home, no. Does that even still apply this season? Who the hell knows? I kind of wanted to take Memphis here, but with the question marks. I mean, if all three players that are listed as questionable are playing, Brandon Clark, Vince Williams Jr., and Desmond Bane, I think Grizzlies catching 7.5 would be a cool bet. That being said, they're all questionable, so they could all be sitting for all that I know. So
I care about 2 out of 3 playing, and I saw that they were available at shoot around earlier, at least.
all three.
The 2 that I care about.
Wait, hold on. Which 2 do you care about?
Desmond Bane and Brandon Clark.
Vince Williams Jr. is cool, but okay, yeah, I get, I get that how the other 2 might be slightly more important to the team.
Yeah, so I think that they'll be playing tonight, and regardless, I mean, who's in? I think that Scottie Pippen Jr. has done a good job, being a general, being a good point guard for this team, and they all play hard. The Grizzlies, we talk so much about the Nets. We don't look at the Grizzlies. They're 10-2 ATS in the first half. The Warriors, they're coming off of an emotional game versus, their old ex-teammate. They've also been playing so many good teams lately. Are they really going to get up for the Grizzlies they see on the schedule here with Josh sitting on the sideline? I think it's a spot that they overlook. I've heard Draymond say, on a podcast I'm pretty sure it was a podcast. He said, you don't have any problem getting up for the good teams. It's the bad teams he has a problem getting up for. And I think that's what we're going to see tonight, at least for 24 minutes. So Grizzlies first half plus 4.5 is where I put my money.
Grizzlies first half plus 4.5. That's cool. I like that bet.
Yeah, I think I agree with the emotional part of the win against the Mavericks the other day, Skee. I don't know if because I do remember he said that when he was talking to Paul George, I think on the podcast on Podcast P last year. I remember him saying that, but he was talking about teams like Detroit. I don't think he was talking about the Grizzlies because this is still a rivalry. Like, they don't like each other. A lot of those core players from a couple years ago are still there. I know Dylan Brooks isn't still there, but a lot of those core players are still there.
Ain't none of them there, man.
Jared Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, even though he's not going to be playing, I don't think they like this team. They religiously boo. They try to boo Draymond off the floor when they go to Memphis. I think he'll still be fired up and motivated for this spot. I don't disagree with your bet. I'm just saying, I don't think I agree with that part specifically. I did have a system that was active on Golden State in this spot, and it really just says you take the team that has more rest before and after the game. I didn't bet it, but you take the team that has more rest before and after the game, hitting about, it's not super high, about 55% over the course of the last 4 years. I think Memphis is coming off 1 day's rest where they lost to the Lakers but did cover, and then Golden State hasn't played since the tournament game on Tuesday when they beat the Dallas Mavericks. So not a game I feel super strong about either. I do think, as Skee said, Memphis has been really profitable recently. They're scoring at a really high rate. I really wanted to get there with the under because this trend is a strong trend towards the under as well. But both of these teams play a lot too fast for me to want to enjoy my Friday night and have a ticket on the under in this game. So I stayed off of it altogether. But if those guys get rolled out, I think Golden State can win this game by double digits.
Yeah, I mean, someone asked how. So, by the way, you guys pissed off a Grizzlies fan in the comment. He said, you guys clearly don't understand who Vince Williams is, and he's easily the more important.
Vince Williams hooped last year, so hopefully he feels good about that comment. He did hoop last year when they were down their first 125 players.
He was watching what? Vince Williams. So before you guys go, I loaded up these graphics. Jake Paul versus I don't even want it. I know people want to do it.
I can't believe it's real.
I still don't believe it is. If we're going,
when Tyson smacked him, it looked real.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a real WWE bit. All right, so Jake Paul is at -200, I believe. Tyson's at plus 160. I'm even putting an option, I don't care, in the poll. And if you select that, just know that we'd probably be friends in real life. All right. So, whoops. All right. So, are you guys, where is this fight? Skee, is this in Vegas?
I have no clue. This is not something I've taken seriously or even thought was really going to happen at all.
Me neither. All right. So, you don't have a pick then? I don't either.
I would take the plus money. But, no, you know what I would bet? I saw something that, I don't think either guy's gonna knock each other out. So whatever you can bet, where just
To go the
lasts
distance.
entire fight.
To
yeah,
go
that's
the
what I would.
distance.
That's what I would say.
I think it's like if it goes 5, I think you could get like a minus 145 Skee for it to go 5.
Oh, Chris
Because
knows the odds. Chris is on this, man.
Well, I was looking into it earlier. I'm not betting it, but yeah, I think if it goes like to go 5, I think you can get like a minus 145 or minus 150. You got to shop around for the best number. But a lot of people who like Tyson think you just take him by knockout, and if you like Paul, then you take him to win by decision, because I mean there's what a 22-year age difference between the two. I think I read earlier. So yeah, that would be, I guess.
Who's your pick?
I don't have a pick. I would play it the same way. This is in Arlington, just FYI. Arlington, Texas, at the AT&T Stadium.
Okay, it's in Jerry World. I'll go Jake Paul. Why? Because just to give you guys, for you freaks out there that are going to be watching this, that's not going to be me. But for you people out there, for you freaks out there that are going to be watching this, just know what you're watching. Mike Tyson fought in 2004, got his ass. Mike Tyson wasn't good enough to fight professionally 20 years ago. And just to put it into perspective, imagine if 15 years from now, Eli Manning was like, yo, I'm going to play some football. Like, that's what we're watching here. So, yeah, I'll go Jake Paul because he's literally 70 years old. But I don't know shit, nor do I care. All right, let's talk some college football. Make sure you give these guys a follow. That's their Twitter name on the screen. They also each have their own YouTube channels. Skee shows at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Chris's is in the morning, like 7:30 a.m. So make sure you show these guys some support. Appreciate you guys coming on. Enjoy your weekends.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, Skee. Good luck, Kyle. Appreciate you, Kyle.
Yep, talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right, let's get the college football crew on. All right, so North Texas, UTSA. I don't think this line is -1.5 anymore. I think my graphics aren't updated. I'm pretty sure that this moved. Yeah, UTSA is laying now, so it's North Texas +1.5. Total for this game's at 72.5. And if you're not familiar with these two teams, that sounds about right. Like dead ass. It should be exactly that type of game. All right, let's get the poll set up here. Get these guys in. Yeah, sorry guys. I know you were dying to share your take on the on the Jake Paul Tyson fight.
Just an FYI, there's a clause in there that the more rounds Tyson goes, the more money he gets. So
is that really a thing?
Yeah. So if you're in the rig train, just want to throw that out there.
Oh, the rig train.
The rig train.
Scoop's the conductor of the rig train. All right. So first game up, North Texas UTSA. I don't like to say this on the show or in the Discord because sometimes that causes people to go out and bet irresponsibly. But I like this bet. I like my bet in this one. It has moved. I got the UTSA money line at +100. I believe it's like -120, -125 now. So they're short favorites instead of short dogs. But I think they win this game. I think these two teams are trending in opposite directions. I don't think people really are grasping how dangerous this UTSA passing attack has looked the last few games. I mean, this kid McCown can throw the ball. You guys already know. I went through the game. Andy, are you on UTSA with me?
No, I'm on North Texas.
I think bet.
I agree with you, and usually I'm on your side when it comes to these teams are going different directions. I'm a big believer in your momentum. It matters. But in this case, I just think the unit in terms of North Texas's passing game is just significantly better, in my opinion, in this matchup. Now, does that mean that North Texas is a better team? Probably not, because UTSA has looked really, really good lately. But I just think I expect more consistency from Morris. I think he'll be able to do whatever he wants. The only game really where he struggled throwing the ball was Army. And everybody's struggling to throw on Army. Army we've had to accept it. There's a good football team. Like, that's just the way it is. That's not UTSA. So The only game in which he struggled was that one. So I mean, this is a team that went to Lubbock and put up some points. I know they got blown out, but they did score. So like, this is a team that's just scored on everybody. I expect them to score a lot today. I just don't think UTSA will be able to catch up.
Scoop, are you on my side or Andy's side?
I gotta admit, I was on Andy's side, and then I watched your video and I got scared.
It's good shit, right?
No, I mean, North Texas is always known for their offense. They have like 500 yards a game. I mean, 37 points a game. Chandler Morris is 5th in the nation throwing the ball. He has like over 3,000 yards. And I know UTSA already gives up the second most passing yards and touchdowns in the conference. I know Army shut them down last week, but UTSA is not Army. Army is one of the best defenses in college football. A bit padded up with who they played, but still. I don't know. North Texas just has a really bad defense. The issue I see is I don't know if UTSA is going to keep up with them. That defense, though, I don't know if anyone saw that Army drive, 14-minute drive last week. It was beautiful. UTSA also has some injury concerns. Both their starting wideouts may be out again from last week. I'm not sure. Of course, when you look at their injury reports, they say undisclosed, so that's very helpful to know if they're going to play. Really here with both defenses being pretty bad, I guess I'll rely on a better passing team, which is North Texas. It should be a fun one to watch. I'm excited to watch it. Instead of the Tyson fight, I'll be watching North Texas and UTSA.
I don't know if North Texas is the better passing attack right now. McCown's cooking.
Yeah, he is.
That was the type of person I am. I edited it. It didn't change my mind one bit.
Because you enjoy being wrong. It's like a fetish of yours. Next up, Wyoming, Colorado State. I couldn't pull the trigger on this one. Because Wyoming, I can't unsee what I've seen from Wyoming this year. There's been some games where they look so bad. I do think 9.5 is too many. Colorado State's looking to run the ball, chew the clock. This is not a team that's built to win by margin. That's not the type of football they play. And I don't think they should be laying 9.5. Not to mention we recently saw a quarterback change in Wyoming. We see sometimes a new quarterback gives the entire offense some energy. Since the quarterback change, no question, Wyoming's offense looks significantly better. Granted, they played a couple terrible defenses, and that's the holdup here. That's the question. Did Wyoming's offense take a huge turn? Because they lit the scoreboard up in the last two games, like 37 points per game. So did Wyoming's offense take a turn when they made the quarterback change, or did they just play two of the worst defenses in the country? That's the holdup. Usually when you have a question like that, the answer is somewhere in the middle. I don't think this should be more than a touchdown. Colorado State really hasn't shown us much in terms of a passing attack, which doesn't even make sense because Fowler Nicolosi was great last year, having a really bad year throwing the ball. If this kid, Caden Anderson, is halfway decent, even if he's an average Wyoming quarterback, he's going to be able to make throws here because Colorado State's secondary is susceptible to the pass. So yeah, I think 9.5 is too many, personally.
Yeah, I'm 9-0 in the last 9 college football bets. This is going to be my 10th in the ladder challenge, 100 to 100,000. I'm on Wyoming.
He's joking, by the way, guys. He doesn't do the ladder challenge.
I do not, but I had 9 in a row. I don't think we talked Wyoming since week 1. I really don't think Colorado State is that good still. I know they're 4-0 in conference, but Nevada, they struggled a bit. New Mexico, they only put up 17, and they beat Air Force by 8. San Jose State was an okay win, but that was tied at half. This team avoided UNLV and Boise on their schedule this year. The problem is, I guess you're playing another doormat in Wyoming, but with Wyoming, Caden Anderson isn't bad at all. He's certainly a huge step up from Evan Svoboda from earlier in the year. Colorado State has a great defense. They have all season. Their offense is just broken, and now with Harrison Whaley is back here at running back for Wyoming. You saw him last week against New Mexico getting 170 yards. I know Colorado State is a way better defense, but they don't cause pressure. They're outside the top 100 in success rate on defense, and Fowler Nicolosi, like you said, has taken a big step back in terms of being a passing quarterback. Still, this pace should be really slow. Both teams take the play clock down to a few seconds. I do love Wyoming, especially because they're running the ball more now. And I really like Anderson at quarterback. Like you said, I don't know if that's based on who they're playing, but I mean, he definitely looks better than Svoboda. Avery Morrow should have also a big game here for Colorado State. Wyoming's run defense is terrible, but with the slower pace and both teams running the ball a lot, I'm going to take the points in Wyoming. They're just getting healthier. I like the way they're playing a lot better than the beginning of the year. So, yeah.
I can't believe that you're putting your So he was joking about the ladder challenge part, but he's not joking. He really is on a streak where he hit 9 college football bets in a row, and I can't believe he's putting the streak on the line to bet Wyoming.
The last time I bet them was week 1. That was a great bet.
Same.
I think they lost by 50 or whatever it was.
I think they were down 35 in the second quarter. Andy.
I'm gonna be against you guys again here. I think Colorado State can stop the run. That's my big thing here. If you look at the trends of the games in which they struggled to stop the run, Nevada, they have a dual threat quarterback. San Jose State, Emmett Brown can move. Oregon State, also their quarterback has some legs. He can run. We haven't seen a lot of that from Caden Anderson. He's also been under pressure a lot, so that's part of that issue. But so they're struggling with dual threat quarterbacks, not really with guys like this. So I don't think the run will really be that big of an issue for them. And then on the other side, they won't do it because I don't know why they felt the need to change their offense. I mean, they paid their guys a lot of money to stay in NIL and then completely changed the offense to go against what they had. They had one of the best quarterbacks in Group of 5, and they had the best receiver in Group of 5. And then they became a rushing offense, which made no sense to me. So, but if they want to throw the ball today, they're going to be able to. They're going to be able to run it, but you could sit back in the pocket and just sling it because there's going to be no pressure on Fowler Nicolosi. And when he's in a clean pocket, he can do whatever he wants. So I think they're going to be able to get whatever they want on offense. And I also think they're going to be able to stop the run on defense because this is not a dual threat situation. So I'm on Colorado State.
Andy just dishing out bad bets tonight.
The pokes.
Yeah, he doesn't get Caden Anderson. He doesn't get it.
Nah.
He will, though.
I will, yeah.
Next up, guys, this total still hasn't moved. I don't know what I'm missing here. I sniped this. You can't even say snipe because the number I got, you could still get it. It's exactly at the same spot. I grabbed this right away. This is one of the first bets I placed this weekend was over 46.5. I thought I was the man. I was like, this is going to close at 48.5, 49, maybe even 50. It hasn't moved at all. It hasn't moved a muscle. So I don't know what I'm missing. Why is this total so low with two teams that are going to throw the ball? Two teams that have shown us they can throw the ball on good defenses. So even if the defenses show up, both Garbers and Will Rogers have shown us that they can get the ball out quick and still move the ball down the field despite being under pressure, despite not having run support, which, by the way, I do think UCLA is going to be able to run the ball as well in this game. And Washington, they don't really run it much, but if they wanted to run, they probably could. Both of these offenses are better than both of the defenses. The way these two teams are playing right now, they're both offensive-centric teams. Both teams have quarterbacks that throw the ball. Why is this 46.5? I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe I'm just a sucker here, and I completely the weather looks fine. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. The weather looks all right. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe I'm a sucker. I thought this was a great bet. Bet it early in the week thinking I was going to get 3 points of value on this. Didn't move at all. So I don't know what I'm missing. I think this should go way over.
Go ahead, Andy.
I agree. I think it'll go over, but I think a lot of it's going to be Washington. I'm on Washington. Big reason is yes, Ethan Garbers has been playing really, really well, but when you look at his splits this year, they're not as good against man coverage, and that's all that Washington runs. They don't run any zone. They're 119th in zone frequency. That's where they make a lot of their big plays here for UCLA. They're good against zone, so you're not going to see any of that. And I'm the only one, seemingly the only person on earth, besides people that watch Washington football, that believes that their defense and their pass defense is really good. I get it. They've seen one really good quarterback, Aller. I think Aller's miles ahead of Ethan Garbers. I think Ethan Garbers is more on the level of Miller Moss. He's better, but he's more on the level of those guys. And those are guys that Washington's kind of eaten for breakfast this year. They've been a really, really good pass defense this year. It's not just the people they played. They've been consistently really good, and I expect them to continue that. Plus, this is at home. It's a perfect spot for UCLA to flop because they've been doing so well, under the radar well, because a lot of their games have been in like weird time slots. They played the Friday night game last week, and they pulled the upset on Iowa. I don't expect them to be able to keep winning these games like this, so I'm on Washington.
So some people in the comments are saying under, and the one person said both of these teams have rarely gone over this number. Yeah, because look at their schedule. They're playing Iowa, Michigan, Nebraska. They play in the Big Ten. They're playing defensive teams with no offense. These are the two teams in the Big Ten that have offenses and no defense. Shouldn't say no defense. Washington's defense has been okay. But they're finally meeting. The two offensive teams are meeting. So, yeah, I love this over. But, again, the line hasn't moved, so that means the market is not seeing it the way I am. It must be pretty balanced. Scoop?
I think I'm the only one on UCLA here. I do love UCLA. I think that they're undervalued all year pretty much. I wish this one was at home because Washington at home, obviously they won 19 in a row. They've been a solid home team. I don't like Washington team in general. I know Andy's a big Washington fan. He's a fanatic over there. Actually, and I compare Aller to more like Miller Moss in general. I don't think Aller's good at all, but UCLA has been the better team out of these two, I think. I really do. And although their defense hasn't been the best, Washington's offense with Will Rogers don't exactly look great at all. They're just not scoring points.
Well, hold on. That's a little unfair. 3 of their last 4 games have been on the road against Iowa, Penn State, Indiana. No, don't.
Iowa.
On the road at Kinnick is a tough place to go score. This is Will Rogers slander. You've taken it too far. I was leaning towards UCLA also.
I don't like it.
Anyway, I said it a few weeks ago. I think Kyle did too. The UCLA team faced a gauntlet to begin the season: Indiana, Penn State, Oregon, LSU. Now they're finally playing teams that are on the same length of them talent-wise. Washington lost 3 of 4. UCLA won their last 3. I don't care who Washington played. They don't look good. If you're comparing these two teams of common opponents, you can look who they just played. Iowa hung 40 on Washington, while UCLA beat Iowa outright last week. So I know Washington played played Iowa in Kinnick, but the way these teams played were so different. UCLA covered 6 of their last 7, all as underdogs. UCLA is just a hotter team right now. I'd lead under if you're betting a total. I don't exactly like both offenses, but the way UCLA's offense is clicking right now and their team in general, I'll grab the points. And now this is at 4.5 for UCLA. So I would. It's
been bouncing all over. It was at 4.5, then 4, then 3.5, then 4. It's been bouncing all over all week. The line. The total has been cemented at 46.5. You want to know how I know that? Because I've been watching it, and it hasn't moved a muscle. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to – oh, wait. Oh, no, we got one more college football game, and then we'll do college basketball. Well, then you guys will do college basketball, I should say. Next up, Houston, Arizona. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? I think the under hits, but I don't know. Is Fafita getting his shit together?
No.
I mean, back-to-back games where he put up a decent stat line.
No.
I hope he is, but I don't.
Andy likes Arizona.
Yeah, Andy likes
I know what Fafita love.
That was.
I mean, I did at the beginning of the season. I thought they would get 7 wins. So.
I told you guys it was all Jed Fish, and you guys didn't want to listen.
I had them winning the Big 12. Look at them. Look at them.
In my opinion, this game stays under 46.5. I know Houston, since Zion Chris at starting quarterback, Houston is 3-0 straight up and 3-0 against the spread. So I think some people are thinking, hey, when Zion Chris is in there, Houston's defense is actually pretty good. I couldn't disagree more. I mean, the defense is still terrible, whether Zion Chris plays or not. They just happen to win the games that he played. I mean, maybe the rest of the team gives a better effort because they personally like him more. I don't know. That's complete speculation. Yes, they've won the 3 games that he started, but the offense was still terrible. Terrible efficiency. They averaged I think it was 22.1 points per game when he was the starting quarterback. The offense is not good. With Zion Chris in there, with Donovan Smith in there, it doesn't matter. This is a bad offense. And Arizona's defense kind of getting a bad rep. They kind of played a few really tough offenses here. If you look at Arizona's schedule and say, okay, when's the last time Arizona played a bad offense? You got to go all the way back to week 5 when they played Utah. That's the last game on their schedule where they played an offense that resembles the shit Houston's offense is. The Utah game, they went into Utah and held the Utes to 10 points. Would they win that game? 21-10? They went into Utah, held Utah to 10 points. Houston's offense, that was in Utah too. This one's at home. In my opinion, maybe Houston's offense is a small step above Utah's, but I have them pretty much even. So I think Arizona is able to keep Houston from maybe even reaching 14 points. And on the other side, I don't know. Houston's defense I like. I've spoken highly of Houston's defense all season. Fafita, I don't know what's going on with the Arizona offense, but it's not working. Back-to-back games where he actually put up a decent stat line, so maybe he's getting it together. But even if Fafita was playing well right now, this Houston defense has been really good, and they've put out some really good efforts against good offenses. So I think this one stays under. Personally, I didn't bet it.
Yeah, it's the two disappointments. Arizona probably more of a disgrace though because of expectations. This team is supposed to compete with Utah to win the Big 12. Instead, they're both in the bottom three. That UCF loss was an embarrassment. Houston isn't much better, but their defense was good in the beginning of the season. I guess kind of terrible towards the middle, and now they're playing great again against Utah and Kansas State. They played a great defense where they had that huge win against Kansas State last week, 2 weeks ago. It was one of them. As much as Arizona has the better talent here, I'm going to take Houston. There's no way I'm trusting Arizona in any situation currently. Zion Chris will probably be Houston's leading rusher again, but still, I wouldn't trust Arizona to stop them, even if they're focusing on that. UCF just ran for 308 yards against Arizona, and Houston isn't as good as a run team, obviously, but Arizona's defensive line is atrocious. They're 90th in EPA per rush, 90th in defensive line yards. It's bad. Houston should have its way running the ball, and their defense has been good, like Kyle said, Houston this season. I mean, Fafita just looks like he majorly regressed. He has a couple of flashes in a pan, but I feel like a nice 2 picks will do here for Houston. Arizona's 0-4 as a favorite against the spread, 1-8 this season in general against the spread. There's no way I'm trusting Arizona to win a game right now.
Well, what's happening with Fafita this year, I think, is just a really accurate reflection of of how important play calling is in college football, especially because Jed Fish goes over to Washington, brings in Will Rogers, and then all of a sudden Will Rogers' career is resurging. I mean, at Mississippi State, he was just left to rot there. He goes out to Washington, and all of a sudden, Will Rogers was like, "Oh shit, this kid can play." So Jed Fish definitely gains a few points here because last year I feel like maybe Fafita and McMillan got all the credit. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but then Jed Fish leaves, that offense doesn't work, and then all of a sudden a Washington offense that lost everybody, that Michael Penix offense, they lost everybody, and that offense looks good as hell this year. Although it's the last few weeks, now that they're seeing some tougher defenses, they're stumbling a bit, but. Andy?
I'm going to be on Arizona.
I kind of was leaning that way too, dude.
Yeah. So I did make a deal a few weeks ago not to ever bet them again, but I just can't stop. You made a great point. The last time that they played a team with an offense that's this level, I will give them some credit. I mean, I know, some people are down on BYU's offense, but BYU's offense is really good. Maybe it's not like as elite as it looked early in the year, but it's still a really good offense. They played Texas Tech. That's a really tough offense. Colorado, obviously, we all know they're amazing. West Virginia with the backup quarterback, apparently they're an amazing offense now too. And Central Florida has one of the best run games in the country. That's Arizona's recent schedule. None of those teams are at the low level that Houston. Like Houston's offense, you're right, they're winning games, but their offense is still not good. Like they were able to win some games when he's playing quarterback, but the offense is still not good. Their defense can make a lot of plays, which is great, but are they going to do that on the road? I'm not sure that they will. I think Fafita, this sport's all about momentum. I think he is finally getting momentum. I think he came into the season with too much hype, and I'm part of the reason for that. I was one of the people that were talking about it a lot too. And I think
too. So that's
yeah, but he's a young quarterback, came in with way too much hype. I think this momentum's going to help him, and I think he finally has that. I think he has a new play caller than he had a few weeks ago. Well, I know he started the season with Dino Babers. I think it's somebody else now. I don't remember the name of the person.
Yeah, they changed play callers in like week 6. I remember that because I bet Arizona that week because an Arizona fan in the comments was like, Sauce, we changed play callers. And I was like, all right, new play caller, let's do it. And they sucked.
Yeah, they just that was week 6 against Texas Tech. Yeah. Yeah, I think the momentum is definitely there for Arizona, and I think they can score. I would lean an under as well because, I mean, Houston's offense is putrid, and we've also seen Arizona's could be. So I don't trust either one consistently scoring. But, yeah, I would lean the under and Arizona.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. I would lean towards Arizona. I won't do it, but I my favorite bet would be the under with a slight lean on Arizona. Scoop taking the Cougs. All right.
Always taking the Cougs.
Next up, Next up is we got college basketball. So I'm going to switch myself out with Toast, but I'm producing, so I'll still be here to do the community parlay at the end. I think we got four games loaded for. All right. Well, whoops, where'd Toast go? Why is he not showing up? Oh, there he is. All right. So let me switch the names. You guys can probably still hear me. 3.
Somebody said that sports all about momentum, but Arizona's on a 5-game losing streak. Yes, but Fafita's playing better. That was my point. they're not playing well, but Fafita is.
All right, Toast, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? The dark cloud is here. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's just get this started right away. I'm actually got multiple games today, which is always fun. Michigan, TCU. Either of you guys got a bet on this game? I do have a bet on this game. I like the total in this game. I like the game to go over, but I don't have a side. Either one of you guys are on the side?
Yeah. TCU. I got it last night at 8.5. I didn't know this was going to change so drastically.
Yeah.
This is a really good matchup for TCU. The rebounding helps, I think, for Michigan. A lot of people, they have the new kid from Danny Wolf. Was he Yale? He was Yale, right?
Yeah.
Kid from Yale. And they have a lot of speed. Dusty May's teams are very quick. But I think that we're overrating them a little bit. They beat Cleveland State to a pulp, and that deservingly so. Cleveland State's not a bad team at all. They're one of the better teams in the Horizon, I believe it is. But then they played Wake Forest and they blew that game, and that was a really good opportunity for them. TCU, I know they snuck by Texas State, but that's a very talented team. They match up really well here. They can shoot. So yeah, I had TCU at 8.5. It moved a lot, so obviously now at 6.5, it's a different game, but I'd still take it. I think TCU is live here. I think they could win this game.
I 100%. I think TCU can win this game too. Scoop, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I only have one bet. It's not this one, but I would lean TCU as well. It's hard for me to back Michigan. I would say after losing to Wake Forest, because I am not on Wake Forest this year. I think they're gonna be way overrated, but that's for another day. I will gladly take this was 8.5, but I would still take it at 6.5. I know their whole team is basically new. They're really young, a ton of freshmen. I think their best, their best 7 players are probably freshmen. They're super young, but I'm not gonna back Michigan until they get the Juwan Howard stink off of them. Ernest Uday is actually the only returning scholarship player from TCU last season. Frankie Collins and Noah Reynolds looks to be pretty solid so far in the backcourt for TCU. This team's young and fast. Jamie Dixon's always on the break. TCU actually led the nation in fast break points, I think, the last 2 years, I think. Chances are they'll end up in the top 10 terms in that again. I know Michigan does have more size here, like Andy said, so might be an issue with rebounding, but it's not like Michigan is really solid yet either. They have 11 transfers as well. That Texas State game, as long as the Texas State game, TCU doesn't shoot terribly at the line again, I think they were like 40%. I think they were like 13 for 30. So as long as they don't do that again, and they can make their free throws, I would definitely take the TCU side here. I'm fading Michigan for the time being until they show me they're a capable basketball team.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the Frankie Collins. We got Frankie Collins revenge game for TCU, so I would assume that if you like those types of spots, Frankie Collins, if you like to play underdog or anything props like that, that's a man you can target for sure. I played the over. Scoop touched on it about Dixon and his teams liking to run. Over the last couple of years, 48th and 64th in tempo, compared to years before that when Jamie Dixon was in like the mid 200s as far as tempo is concerned. So he's completely changed his offensive philosophy. Not to mention the fact that Michigan, I understand that they're running at a really fast pace. They're top 25 in the country in average pace right now. Not to mention the fact that I think that the more that Trey Donaldson plays with Golden and Wolf and all those guys, I think they're going to continue to be better. And Donaldson likes to play with pace too. I mentioned the Frankie Collins revenge game. I also don't think that both of these teams are as bad free throw shooting teams as they've shown early. I think that will regress probably towards the mean around 65-70%, even though they are college kids. But I just think that we're going to see a whole bunch of points here today. I didn't really want to pick a side. I did think that TCU was going to win. But again, I felt like I missed a number, so I didn't end up betting it. But I agree with you guys as far as the TCU side. There's no way in hell in my mind you can lay points here with Michigan. That's for sure. So Beaver, next game up. I love and I hate my bet in this next game. I will not change my mind. I'm dead set on I think that Alabama should smash these punk-ass Purdue Boilermakers in Mackey like I care. Okay. But Andy, why don't you enlighten us and tell me why I'm wrong?
I said it a lot last night. I do think the competition has been better for Purdue, but again, that's all that's all, you don't really know there. Though the problem for me for Alabama, and Nate Oates is really good at figuring out how to win these games anyway. They're not shooting well. They are a team that needs to shoot the three well. They haven't to start the season. Now, normally I'd say that's a great spot for you to come up have your better game. You're due for that. Purdue's a tough place to go and do that at. I know you just said you don't care. It's not easy to go to Mackey and win, let alone when you're not shooting well. Now you shoot well. The only thing I'm nervous about here is the rebounding. This is something Purdue has not had to deal with because of who they had on their team last year, but they're not going to be out rebounding teams like they were last year. And now they're going up against Alabama, who's one of the better rebounding teams in the country. So that's the only thing I'd be a little worried about there, but I just think the lack of shooting so far from Bama worries me. Plus Purdue's defending the three well. Purdue also needs to clean up the turnovers, but again, at home, I think they will. So yeah, I'm on Purdue here to cover this. I do think Alabama wins it by a point. I think whoever has the ball last is going to win this game.
I played out for the record, everybody. I did play Alabama money line when it opened at like minus 115 or whatever. But Scoop, I want to hear your thoughts. I have a couple things to say to Andy as well.
Beaver, put Bama up for me.
Thank you.
Smart. Biggest. I know it's not Beaver. It's
I was gonna
say. Biggest thing with Purdue is obviously Zach Edey's gone. So that's some big holes to fill. Big shoes to fill, literally. I do love some Big Cliff down low for Alabama. I miss him as a Rutgers fan. Bama actually did have some tough games so far when they shouldn't have been. McNeese and Arkansas State both played them close late, but Purdue hasn't had the easiest time either. Yale played them tough too last game. I'm not sure how Bama's going to play here. Their defense looks solid so far, but we know about Bama last year. They couldn't defend at all. But this one comes down to a really fast-paced Bama side against a really slow approach in Purdue. Mark Sears is playing more off the ball this year, so trying to figure out find a shot. But I think that's better for him. Right side has been off so far, but that's what every Alabama is going to come down to, dating from last year. They're going to run and gun, so if they're not connecting, they're going to lose. But that being said, I still like Bama's team better here. I think they'll cover. It's a big test for Purdue, their first big test without Edey. I think Bama's backcourt is going to pressure Purdue all game, and they don't have a big man that's going to easily get to the basket anymore for Purdue. Plus, I don't really like Purdue shooters, to be honest. I just like Bama's a lot better, so I'm going to take Bama and lay the points.
Someone just asked in the comments for Florida State. We actually went through that one last night. Andy and Toast like Florida. I said Florida State, but I'm on the Knowles. This is Kyle Kirms speaking, by the way.
This is Kyle Kirms speaking.
Just really quick on that Florida State game. Florida, if you buy into the fact that they might be under some internal issues with Todd Golden sending dick pics to students and whatnot, I don't really think that plays too much on the court, personally.
Allegedly.
Excuse me. I apologize, Todd. My bad, Todd. Allegedly. But I just feel like even Florida State is really, really big, and they're going to be able to play defensively. But at the same time, I just think that Florida has way too much around them to be able to score. But anyway, as far as this game is concerned, Andy talked about the loss of Zach Edey and stuff, I think. And I guess my question to Andy is, who's going to guard Mark Sears? Because last year, Mark Sears just absolutely shredded this team. And last year, who was guarding Mark Sears? Lance Jones. Who's going to be guarding him this year? Two freshmen in Harris and Cox. Like, I don't even think that comes close to what you're getting with Lance Jones. Not to mention, you don't have Edey behind Lance Jones either. Bama's going to be off and on. There's no question about that as far as how they should play the game. It's very fast paced. They don't take mid-range jumpers. It's all layups and threes. But right now, Alabama has the best shot selection in the country. So I will give you, there's credence there about in Mackey. Purdue hasn't lost a game in November since 2021. But I just feel like the Alabama offense is close to the same, at least especially with Mark Sears and Right Shell and Grant Nelson now there. And I don't think the Purdue defense is the same. So I honestly think Alabama wins this game by 10 plus. So unless they're ice cold, I think that Mark Sears absolutely shreds this Purdue defense. And I think that Alabama wins this game easy. So we will see. But I know that everybody in the world is on Alabama as well. So I know that. So it doesn't. I don't.
Nah, I'm with Andy. I'm on Purdue.
Yeah. Who asked? Anyway, next game.
Yeah. Is this our producer speaking?
I don't know. I just hear these buzzing in my ear. I don't know. Unfortunately, every time he fades me, he wins. So it's really hard to say.
I mean,
it's everybody. So.
True. Marquette and Maryland. I'm really curious to see where you guys fall on this one. I do have a bet on the side. Scoop, do you have a bet?
Yes. I mean, so without Tyler Kolek, Cam Jones might get a little less good looks, but so far that's not the case. He still has 23-point game shooting, 70%. Obviously, level of competition isn't there, but still nice to see. Iguodala's gone too, so they'll need some scoring overall for their team. Ben Gold needs to get to the basket more. He's only shooting like 19% from three right now.
True.
Chase Ross looks to be the other scorer for this team other than Jones. I guess it's going to be the 1-2 punch for them. Not only that, but so far, I like Marquette in this game. So far, Marquette's fourth in steals on the year, scoring 20 points off turnovers in each of their first 3 games. I know Maryland hasn't given up the ball much at all yet. That's actually one of their strengths, but I like Marquette's defense to cause some problems. Both of these teams have been awful from three so far. Some of that's Ben Gold's fault, but both teams shooting less than 30% in the season. Either way, Marquette really doesn't have a strong big man. They're just fast and get to the rim. So that might be an issue for Marquette. They're really small. I think they only have one big man on the whole team, but Maryland has a bunch of new pieces too. And in these games, I'm just going to favor the coach when it's close like this. Shaka Smart's a way better coach than Kevin Willard. Kevin Willard is a bum. For Seton Hall, he was a bum. For Maryland, he's a bum. He's going to wear out his welcome there too. So I do like Marquette. Just in terms of them getting the basket more. Just in the beginning of the season anyway, I'll take Marquette. Maybe Maryland will click later on, but I do like Maryland in terms of protecting the basketball. But I'm just going to lean Marquette. I don't have a bet.
I completely feel the opposite way, but we all know how that means. So, Andy, do you have an opinion in this game? Because I will give you my reasons, though.
Yeah, I'm with them. I like Marquette. My reason is obviously everybody knows around this time of year, it's the level of competition is, to me, it doesn't matter as much as how do those teams play stylistically.
Yes,
up to the team.
100%.
But wait,
who's defending the post?
Well, this is what I was going to say to that was this is a significant jump in pace. That's something that Maryland has struggled with in years past. They run fast. That's the way Maryland plays. They run fast. They're really good defensively, but once they get in that running gun and they have to go the same pace as their opponent, they get into big holes. They struggle. They worry too much about defense. They're too tired to play offense. That's things that happen with Willard's team. I've watched it happen. It's the big issue. It was the big issue with them last year. They played 3 teams that were 250 post 250 or 250 or lower in pace. Now they're facing a team that's top 15. That's a huge jump. That's a team that wants to run with them. So I think that they're going to lose a little bit of energy late in the game and lose this game. Marquette has more guys that have been there before. I know they lost Kolek. Don't get me wrong. They have the better scorer. The coaching advantage, it's there, but I don't think it's that big. I think Willard's a really good coach. His teams play great defense, but I just think Marquette, I know a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth about them because of how last year ended, but also the fact they lost their best player. They still have really good players there. I don't necessarily think they're going to be one of the best teams in the country, but they are a good team. They're still very talented. And Maryland, usually a low scoring game in their games. I don't know that against Marquette, they're going to be able to keep them to the score that they need to win this game. So I'm on Marquette.
Yeah, I won't go on a soapbox about Kevin Willard. I think that he's terrible as well, but I completely disagree as far as basketball is concerned. Talked about the pace. Well, I agree that maybe Maryland gets into a little bit of trouble there, but they're also a top 5 team right now. They're using everybody on their bench, and they're using them kind of effectively, whereas Marquette's using their 5, maybe 6 guys at most. And then for me, the big thing is Maryland can't defend the post. That's been very clear their first few games. Ben Gold is absolutely terrible, especially in the paint. And I think that Julian Reese and Derek Queen should be smashing all over tonight. Scoop touched on it. Neither team can really hit the 3 ball as well. I think that Maryland wins the rebounding battle, and I think they win the points in the paint battle. And I think that should be enough for victory. So I laid the 2 with Maryland. It's at like 2.5 now. I feel the same. I feel like Marquette plus 2.5 is a little trappy, but it is what it is. We'll see. But I do think that Maryland has a huge advantage rebounding and points in the paint wise. And I think that should be enough because Marquette hasn't shown us they can shoot the ball yet. So I think that Joplin's going to be in a little bit of trouble tonight, but
plus Marquette is trash.
That's I don't know. Probably. Next game.
Good coach though.
Coach.
We love Shaka. There's no question about that. But is Shaka really? I don't know.
Andy knew about the Shockers yesterday. That was a good text. Anyway,
West Virginia Pitt. Obviously, Andy has a better. He likes something in this game. I don't know. I felt like there was better games to pick. But so, Andy, please enlighten us why this is on our rundown.
I will say this. I had to do it again. I would have probably put Georgia Tech in this spot or one of the other games, but I still do
I
think
would have rather talked about Washington State, Iowa.
I like Pitt in general.
I want to hear what he has to say about Pitt because I'm
Okay, Scoop, lead us off.
Wait, because why? Because you don't like Pitt? Whatever. Yeah, backyard brawl. I really liked this Pitt team last year. I think they got snubbed for the tournament. So far against inferior competition, they've been solid again. Jalen Lowe is a legit NBA prospect. He can score. He plays hard defense. He averages about three steals a game. He attacks the rim, and this team's still working off ball screens more than any other team in the country. Sincere Harris, while he's a decent defender for West Virginia, I don't think he's going to be able to stay in front of him that much today. Him and Leggett are two of the most solid backcourt duos in the country this far, and I think they will this year. This backcourt is what makes this team go. The front court, no, not really. Graham's okay. Hansberry will probably bully him, to be honest, for West Virginia. But regardless, Pitt's going to put this game away because of their defense in general. They play a solid man-to-man defense. Zach Austin's great down low defensively, not offensively. He's bad offensively. But and plus, Leggett's still an incredible solid defender. So I think Javon Small and Tucker DeVries is going to have some issues here. I'm just really high on this Pitt team this year. I like the talent a lot more, and I like the way they play. I would take Pitt here. I didn't bet this one, but yeah, it should be a good one. I definitely like Pittsburgh in this one.
Definite look-ahead spot for West Virginia. They play Gonzaga November 27th. So, Andy, and your thoughts?
Dude, just all the look-ahead spot for a game 3 weeks from now.
Georgia, so I made that joke too. But I would be on Pitt as well. The problem with West Virginia, and it's going to be an issue all year, is they can't rebound, and you can't, especially against Pitt, you can't have that issue. You need to be able to rebound and get extra possessions. You can't just be one and done against Pitt. So I would lean Pitt. Not that it's the best game on at the time or anything. It's not one of the better games, but it's still a good game. So I'd be on Pitt.
Yeah, I guess Pittsburgh. I don't really know. I feel like this is just too many points for Pittsburgh to be laying at this time in the year. But at the same time, it's not. I don't really have a big argument for West Virginia. I think they looked really good against UMass. I think that Robert Morris is a little bit better than Ken Pom and other people are making them out to be. So maybe it's just me in my own head a little bit, but I don't think that I have a hard time believing that Pittsburgh runs away with this. But at the same time, West Virginia is not a team that I'm going to window for. They've also shot I don't really know. If West Virginia is going to shoot the three ball like they have their first two games, then they might be a team that we can get on here in the next couple of weeks as far as catching points. But I want to see it against a team like Pitt. But I just don't know if I can trust the three. They're almost shooting 40% as a team. West Virginia is from three, and I don't know if I trust that. They're also one of the better free throw shooting teams in the country at almost 80%. So if this game is close late, they should be able to hit their free throws, which always is good for a cover. So again, I lean West Virginia, but it's not even worth my time to play it.
The thing is, you don't lay this big number with Narduzzi. You take the points with Narduzzi.
Yeah, I said that, and you still put Pitt under my name. You're such a good producer.
You said, I guess I would lean Pitt.
Yeah.
You said, I guess I would lean Pitt. You said that.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I'll put West Virginia up for you.
Play back the tape.
And DeJuice in the comments said he likes West Virginia. See, when I'm producing, I actually give people in the comments spots on the screen. Unlike Prop Beaver, he's a selfish.
Selfish.
He's gonna be so mad that I emailed him the list today. He's be like, "What the fuck is this?"
All right, so let's do a quick community parlay and call it.
I got the results.
What do you mean the results? So somebody asked your opinion on, I think it was Iowa, Washington State.
Iowa should win easily. I love Washington State, but flying across the country playing their first Big Ten team, I won't mind an over either. But the number's like 170 plus, so you should see a lot.
Are your parents going?
Huh?
Your parents going?
In Iowa? No.
In Iowa.
And they're.
I thought they were Washington State.
They don't fly to Iowa.
They support Washington State football. They support Gonzaga basketball. They will be at the Gonzaga game tonight. I did lay the 27.5 with Gonzaga. They win by 30 plus tonight.
They don't fly with the team, Scoop.
Yeah, I thought they were following.
I
thought they were following the team around. They're retired. They're not doing anything with their lives.
They don't follow the basketball team around.
My dad tries. If he can drive, he's probably going to be there.
Scoop doesn't understand what season tickets means. That doesn't mean you fly to Iowa for the game.
Yeah.
They got the disposable income.
Shit. Sell the Gonzaga season tickets. That's some real disposable income.
They have season tickets to the Washington State football, right?
Yeah.
This, they're,
Are they home tomorrow? No, I think they're in New Mexico.
this is a close poll. I'll give it 5
I've
more
been saying rank the Cougs all year. Everybody's laughing at me. And look at them, just 8-1, just chugging on through.
They're like the number 17 or 18 team in the country. They're like on the outside.
Yeah,
looking.
but they're not though. Like
No,
they
but
are,
they-
but they're not.
It can happen, but yeah, they could.
You have a quarterback like that can create on third down. They're always live. Okay, so
I think their
always
game's gonna have 190 points scored tomorrow.
Who do they play?
New Mexico.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Washington State is leading their conference. So
yeah, they're all haters. Scoop. It's all good.
they
they're
are
leading their conference.
They are leading their conference. I can't argue with that. They are leading their
Not wrong.
conference. There's only 2 teams in said conference.
But they're
leading.
winning. If
Ho-
they,
Still a banner. That's all I know. So
yeah, yeah. Gonna get a spot one of the meaningless bowls, but it's still a banner.
do either one of you two have other bets in college basketball that you are like to share or no?
Yeah, subscribe to KyleKirms.com.
What did you
Let's
say
do
to Andy Charleston Southern? Did you
Um,
say that?
No,
Also,
Charleston
I
money.
have you guys seen the score of the Virginia Villanova game yet?
Yeah, I think their under's gonna hit, bud.
Let's hope
no,
so.
I
Seems fuck. They seem. I have Virginia.
I do really like.
so
How
bad.
bad is Villanova? Like, is this like unprecedented? How bad this
bad.
team is? They have 11 points, guys. Maybe they've scored since I looked again. 11 points in the first 13 minutes.
I do like
We were
Winthrop
left
a lot.
with
By
7
the way,
minutes left in the first half.
Sorry, say that again, Scoop.
Winthrop.
Kyle Neptune, top mark.
Yo, I was trying to be nice. Okay.
Winthrop.
They're on right now.
Winthrop.
Yep.
I know. I have them.
Elon +5. High point first half. I think I'm going to play high point first half until it loses.
I was gonna pick Stonehill, and they're winning by 30. So
That's it.
it's because I think 1% of the money was on Stonehill.
I also changed my mind, I think, from last night. I think I don't think I did. I bet Arizona -4.5. Tommy Lloyd in the non-con.
You bet on Mike White.
He's just too good.
Did Andy just freeze? Look at his face.
I was gonna say. I was like, what was the Mike White thing coming?
All right, Andy froze, so I'll put myself back on the screen.
He mentioned Mike White and then bounced. He's like, all right, Mike White, peace.
All right, so it's Thunder. That's the third leg of the community parlay. So it's
I
Pistons
also-
money line, Lakers money line, Thunder money line, and then we'll do the 3 second place finishers. Is there any more? The 3
I also like Furman. Furman starts in an hour or so.
Pistons money line.
I like Belmont a lot too. I must have missed something because I made Belmont -8, 8.5. And now they're like 2.5, and I bet them at 3.5. Like, what am I missing?
Someone asked about Penn State, Virginia Tech. Either of you guys look at that one?
I just did notes on that actually.
I mean,
Yeah. Virginia Tech's. Yeah, it's Ace Baldwin or nothing. I don't know. I would lean Penn State. It's kind of hard to lay that number though.
Yeah, I would too.
All right, so we got Pistons, Lakers, Thunder. So Pistons, Lakers.
Who's the coach for Penn State again? Is that
I think the Thunder is going to lose, guys. By the way,
Rhodes, right?
Rob.
Yeah, that's what it was. So Virginia Tech actually, there's a storyline for that Virginia Tech Penn State game. Virginia Tech reportedly ducked scheduling VCU when Rhodes was a coach there, and so now that people think that he's got this vendetta against them and they're going to blow him out. Blah 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 blah.
So the community parlay today is Pistons money line, Lakers money line, Thunder money line, Rockets money line +472. Thanks everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be going through the whole college football slate. We'll be live for 2 straight hours, me, Scoop, and Andy. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Please remember to bet responsibly tonight. If you're in the Discord and are getting in on the betting league tonight, you have 1 hour and 21 minutes to submit. If you're in the league, you already know how. But if you just click on betting league on the website if you don't know how to do that. All right, everyone, have a good one. Bet responsibly. See you in the morning.